What is up, Breaking Bad fans? Kino here, and we're back with another Breaking Bad log. Today we're looking at the 5th episode of Season 3, Moss. Now, we open the episode with a flashback to the first episode. After Walt gave Jesse his life savings to buy an RV, Jesse instead takes the money to a strip club and ends up partying with Skinny Pete and Combo. After blowing almost all the money on strippers and champagne, Jesse freaks out when he doesn't have enough left to buy an RV. Combo hooks him up though and takes him to a house with an RV. He then gives him the keys but says that they need to leave immediately, and Jesse ends up knocking over some trash cans as they get out of there. After the title, Hank continues to search for the RV. He searches one but finds only an innocent couple inside having fun in their RV. He also learns that Steve Gomez has been given his assignment in El Paso after he turned it down. Though Hank is happy for Steve, he's struggling with his own lingering trauma from his experience in Texas. However, when questioned by Marie, he refuses to admit any of this, as he doesn't want to seem weak or even acknowledge how it's affecting him. Meanwhile, Jesse confronts Walt about how he got his half of the money from the drug deal. Walt then goes to talk to Gus and says that he knows that this was a manipulation attempt in order to get him cooking again. He ironically says that he isn't motivated by pride, when both Gus and we the viewers know that he most definitely is. Gus then takes him to the Superlab located underneath his laundromat. He again reiterates his offer to Walt, and when Walt hesitates, he again manipulates him by playing on his desire to be a real man and provide for his family. In the end, this works, and Walt accepts the offer. Meanwhile, Skyler continues her affair with Ted. He invites her to leave items at his place and to get more serious with him. However, she's hesitant, and later admits that she doesn't love Ted and is simply using the affair as a distraction from her situation. There's a great visual detail for this when she stands on a towel instead of the heated floor, showing how her relationship with Ted is starting to lose its attractiveness. After talking to Marie about how Hank's near-death experience changed him, she begins to rethink her judgment of Walt. She actually begins to be more open to him and even allows him to hold Holly one night. However, because he's getting involved with the drug trade again, Walt decides to move out and actually signs the divorce papers. Skyler isn't sure if she's happy about this or not. Back at Saul's office, Walt meets with Jesse to give him his half of the previous deal. He also reveals that he started working with Gus, leaving Jesse out of the business. It's funny, the way Walt talks about Gus almost seems like a girl bragging about how the guy chose her instead of another girl.
See, he needs someone with expertise. Someone who knows what he's doing. In other words, he needs me.
Saul decides to switch to Walt's side and offers his services laundering his money. Jesse, furious that he's been cut out of the drug trade, ends up throwing a piece of concrete at Walt's windshield, shattering it yet again. Finally, Hank continues to try and track down the RV. After going through all the registered RVs of that model in the state, he gets a lead on one that was stolen. He tracks it down to a woman who reveals that her son was the one who stole the RV and that she didn't want to get him in trouble. Hank realizes that it was Combo, and while looking through his room, discovers his connection to Jesse Pinkman, another person he's familiar with. Slowly, the pieces are starting to come together for Hank. The title of the episode is of course connected to the first episode of the season, No Moss, and refers to Walt's decision to start cooking meth again, something he had previously been avoiding. This is the final appearance of Combo on the series, and is also the first appearance of Skinny Pete in 7 episodes. This episode is dedicated to Gwen Savage, who cast extras for the show. She had passed away earlier that year. Finally, the scene with Skyler and her lawyer reminded me a lot of the scene in The Sopranos with Carmela talking to her therapist.
He's the father of my children. And maybe what he did,
He did it for the family, right? Well, guess what? That is one enormous load of horseshit.
He's a good man. He's a good father.
You tell me he's a depressed criminal, prone to anger, serially unfaithful. Is that your definition of a good man?
I'm going to spell this out as simply as I can for you. You are a fool to stay in that house 1 minute longer. If your husband won't leave, then you go.
Leave him.
Take only the children, what's left of them, and go.
You are now an accessory after the fact. You are culpable.
One thing you can never say, that you haven't been told.
I see.
Though she says she isn't qualified as a therapist, she gives the same kind of straightforward advice to leave her criminal husband, and that she's culpable if she does not. And that's pretty much everything I have to say about the episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next Breaking Bad log coming soon. A man creates content, and he does it even when he's not appreciated, or respected, or even loved. He simply bears up and does it, because he's a content creator. Russell, Sean, Heart of Markness, Logan, Clean, John Reyna, Jesse Sterling, Andrew Stewart, Obst Racing Media, Daz J-Kit, Conan Higgins, Sam Cedarlin, Don Lucania, Celery Man, Jenna Marie Johnson, and Brad Smith Studios.